The traditional research focuses on the theory behind issues. The action research focuses on the practice and the solutions that can come out of a situation. And that is why it has become the best system of doing research.
Senior officials and representatives, principals, teachers and students, fellow speakers and friends, and Karibuni, welcome to this first TVET Applied Research Forum hosted by Colleges and Institutes Canada and supported by the International Development Research Centre. It is with great pleasure that I extend on behalf of Cican a warm welcome to those of you participating in this forum in person at the Kenya Technical Trainers Institute in beautiful Nairobi, and to those joining us virtually from across Kenya and other parts of the world.
We hope that the TVET Innovation Fund is instrumental in promoting and enhancing the culture of research in the skills development sector. How does the work of the Polytechnique link with community needs? What are we learning about how to reform technical and vocational training to make it more inclusive? How do we ensure that curriculum design considers what businesses and different value chains need in terms of skills?
The government is aware that this is a key component, both in the knowledge creation and also in solving societal problems. And it's because of this that the ministry has purpose to support training, and it does this through a number of initiatives.
Now, the recent inclusion of science, technology, and innovation in the performance contract of all TVET institutions is also envisaged to make contributions in enhancing TVET research.
In the TVET sector, we are expecting the government to formulate policies. We expect the government to do the funding and industry to allow our students, our trainees, to acquire the skills and to also fund. While the TVET sector is supposed to be innovative in terms of their programs, in terms of the skills, churn out competent manpower that can be able to produce goods that are competitive in the market and skills that can easily be absorbed in the market.
There was a presentation from COST. I think it was COST Institute of Technology, the engagement of the youth empowerment, where the youth students give them stipend. We can see one of the presenters, I'm not very sure and I don't want to offend, I think she was a young faculty or a young teacher in that institution. You can see the mentorship that has gone on to preparing such a young woman to do the presentation. I'm sure if that's the direction that all of us needs to go, that even as we do these projects, as we do the research, let's incorporate the young people, both men and female, so that they get to appreciate some of the things that we're doing. One of the things that kept me wondering as I sat down there is how Cican, in its own wisdom within its organization, is able to reach the most established institutions like KTTC, and also the established institutions of TVET, but also Ekerubo in Nyamira County. This funding, the Cican funding to TVET institution, is impacting lives. In Kenya, we call it mashinani, to the grassroots. Because if you don't know where Nyamira County is, it is really far away, like over 9 hours drive from here, if you left at 6. So that means that that community is enjoying the dairy farming, improved poultry. They've talked about greenhouse. They've talked about the fish pond, you know. As much as the Lake Victoria is not very far away from that county, then they are benefiting. One of the things that I also picked and I want to elaborate more tomorrow is from Sigala Gala, the issue, actually two things, the issue of female participation and generating their interest in applied research, because it is very important that we promote gender and diversity in matters of agriculture and engineering.
That's why it's very important that we work together with industry in terms of knowledge creation in terms of dissemination, or just as we're doing now, so that we can know what is where, what is being done where, by whom, and also who are the champions, and so that we can share those experiences and be able to impart on our local economies, to promote such influences, so that we can have technology transfer in place, and to ensure that our graduates develop composite skills as necessary.
From the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, we are quite delighted to see this kind of partnerships evolving from TVETs especially, because it has been for many years partnerships around applied research have been with the universities, and the TVETs have been doing it in a silent way, or probably small scale, or probably not really commercializing in partnership with industry. We are quite excited and we congratulate the organizers of this first applied research forum, bringing together all the stakeholders to discuss how we move forward in this country amidst the many economic expectations, the social challenges we've seen, creating jobs, and also creating economic opportunities for our young ones.
If I was to ask by a show of hands, all of us have taken milk this day, and that is how big the industry, the dairy industry is. So to meet these consumer tastes and demand, micro, small, and medium enterprises are focusing on production of a variety of dairy products. And this being a huge business opportunity existing, the dairy processing, SMEs are challenged in terms of maintaining product quality. There is retro or comprehensive empirical data on information and skill gaps among the dairy processing, micro, small, and medium enterprise workers.
After the first phase, which was a paper proposal, we have the second stage where we have trainers who are trained, the third phase where trainees were recruited, the fourth phase where groups were developed or concepts were developed.
Now I have to now respond on the issue that has been asked in the chat room, that how are these important findings on gender equality and inclusion being positioned to make a difference in the technical institutes or national polytechnics? I want to say that this is applied research, like we said, and therefore we are trying to get ideas and recommendations that are now focused towards the problems that we have in our TVET institutions. And therefore, these findings, they're going to inform policy at the government level. We are going to now repurpose our focus. We are going to develop new discussions or discourse so that we have targeted interventions that address the specific issues that are being raised. One such issue has been on the area of the menstrual. You know, the government has been giving the pads. So we are going to have a new discussion. Are these interventions really, are they resolving what they should? Are they being done in the right way? Do we need to relook? So this is a very healthy forum because it's going to give us information on the next steps.
I'm speaking for and on behalf of the CIT students who are following the proceedings. And given the background that they are also involved in the project, one of the groups that involved in their CITVES project in CIT have a company called Better Limited Company. In their company, they are thinking of solar dried foods as one of those innovations. And I am addressing them as well as presenting their issues, that the innovation appears to be arousing very good interests for the two institutions. And I want to compliment them and say that as CIT, we are also keen on solar-dried foods and would wish to have collaborations in future so that we can see whether the CIT students, particularly the Beta Limited company, can be at peace that at least there will be some collaborations to speed up their interest in this region.
I would like to appreciate the presenters. That was a good presentation. Thank you very much. I had two questions, but one has already been asked. I'll go to one that goes to Kabete on the aspect of the materials that you are going to use to make the healthy bread. All the categories that you have mentioned, all of them have one way, and in one way may go through the process of fermentation. So what are the alternatives? What alternatives are you going to offer? And when it comes to raising, I know bread has got to, you must be having some raising agent. What alternatives are you going to have to the ones that already exist that bring about the fermentation?
I appreciate the way they have done their work. As you can see, as them present, they are confident and they did it within recorded time. They are within their time given. And that one now comes to the issue that we debated yesterday. And I repeat by asking Cican and other fathers, is it possible we look for ways of training our researchers that we are sponsoring, that they can be able to know and the hows to put about their research down. They are doing very good work of research. They have very noble ideas, but at times they would lack that, you know, and somebody confessed yesterday and said, for me, I can do, but when you tell me to write, all right, so how do we make sure that them that we are funding are also able to be equipped with the knowledge and skills about research? That is one of the aspects.
We have another thematic partnership that focuses on applied research and innovation, which is fully linked to what we are doing currently. So again, this specific partnership is also just going to try and see within our TVET ecosystem, what are the gaps? What can we do differently? How do we, again, just invest more in applied research so that we're able to find solutions for our own local problems? Yeah, we don't constantly look for what's outside, but then we use our own resources to find our own local solutions.
My name is Kisha Joan. I'm a TVET graduate. I did building and construction in Community and Development Youth Empowerment Institute. And I also did building technology and civil engineering at PC Kinyanjui Technical Training Institute. Right now, I'm working with Edaman Properties, a company that is located at Ati River. We are building houses there, and also we have another project in Ngara. We are still building the 7 icons of Nairobi. And despite that, I'm also your research. Indeed, since yesterday when I came here, I've learned a lot. I've heard from you. Your research is so great. And I can stand still and say that I'm your research. I'm your findings, and I'm your conclusions.
Thank you.
Let the principals who are here not to just provide Wi-Fi and gadgets to be used, but also to be giving guidance, to create awareness. Teach those people on which sites to research what. Give them challenges so that they can be doing this research, and also arrange for symposium and other things. Growing up in high school, I didn't have this career thing training or someone who came to us to talk about the career thing, career development thing, because my teacher wanted me to be a teacher. My father wanted me to be a doctor. The community saw a potential news anchor. So I didn't know on whose opinion to choose. I didn't have a gadget to do a research. I was invited in Nairobi University by Ajira Digital. I think many of us knows Ajira Digital. So there I was taught about this research thing. I was taught on which platform to research and what to research. And also that motivated me to find some coins and buy a gadget so that I can be researching.
Now the challenge we have, which we can address, like you as our partners, is actually a change of mindset in management of our institutions and focusing on research. Now, yes, we know we don't have enough funds. That's very correct, like what my colleague has said. But some institutions are trying with the little resources that we have. And we actually putting applied research in our strategic plan, because when you put applied research in the strategic plan, then you are able now to plan for a given duration of time what you want to do as an institution. We can again look at the percentage of the capitation that we are receiving so that we allocate part of that percentage of the capitation on research, so that the departments of research in our institutions should actually not be just like any other department, but a department that is actually collaborating with the industries within the locations where we are, also collaborating with the local communities within the locations where we are, so that they can be able to solve those community problems.
The technology is changing so fast. And with the innovations that we have, it takes some years. By the time that innovation is rolled out, a new technology has come up. So there is actually need to continuously involve in the changing technologies and get the support of stakeholders, mainly our industry players and the government.
And so really the value of ensuring that partnerships are mutually beneficial. So what Joyce was saying about when you have an MOU, making sure that your partner is contributing to and participating in a project. It's not just an agreement where, you know, they maybe feel like they're doing you a favor by engaging your students or working with your faculty or instructors on a project. To sum it up as briefly as I can, I would suggest focusing on quality over quantity always. So one good, strong project is much more valuable from my perspective than 20 signed MOUs that don't necessarily lead to outcomes or lead to partial outcomes.
Of course, another thing is strengthening the linkage between industry and academia by having very clear MOUs. A lot of times you have MOUs with industry, but how clear are those MOUs? Do we have follow through with the MOUs? Are we able to ensure that the MOUs add value? It is not just something on paper where we say we'll send attaches. So if you're able to transition those attachments into jobs through the MOUs that you have with industry, then that means that we are actually moving in the right direction.
It's evident that the fourth industrial revolution will inevitably affect jobs the world over, Canada too. But new jobs will replace traditional jobs, and these will require different skill sets. And so TVET institutions will need innovativeness to improve their way of imparting skills to students and stay relevant. TVET graduates could face an uphill battle to find employment, which we've heard about that today, in which they have to adapt to the changing world environment as quickly as possible. And there will be a need to reskill staff as well, using modern systems. So how prepared are we? At the same time, the pace of local development in Africa is not matching the fourth industrial revolution levels. Students need to be engaged in real-world tasks.
I would like to thank also so deeply the Cican group, both in back at home in Canada and also our office in Nairobi. And we really want to thank you, a clap for the Cican group. This is very, very encouraging. Let's again pray and ask Cican that next year, let us meet here.